Hi, Neto here. The game feels very polarized right now because of the recent Vettel drama. Some people are calling these maps fake, just PP maps, aim slop. Others are saying people need to stop being elitist. But I don't think the real problem is the maps. I think the problem goes much deeper than that. I don't think the issue is the mappers, I don't think it's the player base, and I don't think trying to curate maps is inherently wrong. The actual underlying problem is the performance point system itself, specifically how it functions as an eternal leaderboard. And I think that system has quietly reached its limits a long time ago. If you're newer to the game, you might not know that Osu used to rank players by ranked score before performance points existed. In the score system, the more maps you played, the more FCs you got, the bigger your combos were, the higher you climb. It almost felt like a little bit of an MMORPG where you were incentivized to complete the game. The problem? It rewarded grinding more than skill growth. Then came PPV1, and then we have the PPV2, which is the current performance point system. Now the incentive shifted. Instead of playing everything and trying to chase those FCs and huge grind sessions, you are now trying to reach milestones. When can you reach 100 PP? Next you want to reach 200, 300, 500, etc, etc. The focus became what gives the biggest number, and that shift changed everything. Here's the first real issue. Ranked score was cumulative and it makes sense to be permanent. You were aggregating lifetime effort into the leaderboards. Performance points don't work like that. PP evaluates performance difficulty, but the leaderboard is still eternal, permanent. That doesn't make any sense. Look at competitive games, look at esports, look at real sports. They all use seasons. Why? Because meta changes, rule changes, technology changes, players improve. I stream FC on Freedom Dive or Blue Zenith in 2014-15 was vastly harder to achieve than it is today. Lower refresh rate monitors, no rapid triggers, no analog precision keyboards, but both scores are valued equally in PP. FC today and an FC 10 years ago. The system does not account for era, for viability, for context. An eternal leaderboard for a performance-based metric is fundamentally flawed. It should measure who's performing best now, not across the entire lifespan of the game. That's problem number one. Problem number two is the current meta map discussion. And I'm deliberately not calling them slot maps or garbage maps. They are meta maps. Every competitive game has a meta. Most efficient tactics available. In a MOBA, you play the stronger champions of the patch. In Elden Ring, you use the strongest build if you want to clear the game easier. In any competitive environment, people optimize. Osu is no different. If the system rewards certain patterns more efficiently, mappers will design around that and players will grind around that. This has been happening since 2016 with many different metas. We have the jump meta, the stream meta, and so on and so on. The discussion is always the same. Mapper discovers the meta, maps get ranked, community splits, drama happens. It's not new. And it's not the fault of the mappers, the NATs, the QATs, the PP developers. It's the structure of the incentive system. As long as the system rewards efficiency over expression, meta maps will exist. Before PP, players would choose maps based on fun, comfort, challenge, personal goals. People played Big Black because it was freaking hard. People played anime jump maps because they were comfortable. Now the question is often how much PP does this give? That changed the player behavior. And when a casual rhythm games gets forced into a hyper-optimized competitive metric, people start arguing over efficiency instead of enjoyment. That's why things feel more toxic. The reality is there will never be a universal agreement on mapping quality. A map with insane creative ideas but only 2 playable passes. Is that good? 30-second repetitive jump farm. Is that bad? Depends on who you ask. The solution will not come from defining good mapping. It will come from adjusting incentives. If meta maps stop being the most efficient path, they will naturally decrease. Now, is there a possible short-term fix? If I had to suggest one idea, something a little bit realistic in a way, in the short term to medium term, would be stop incentivizing maps that are already fully saturated. The example here, imagine two 4-star maps are nearly identical in objects, in length, etc. But one has 10,000 FCs, the other has 30. The one with 30 FCs, in theory, should be harder than the one that has 10,000 FCs. Why? Because FC count, so full combo count, is one of the most organic difficulty indicators we have. If a map is hard, very few people FC it. If it's easy, many do. So why are both valued equally in the performance points? So we should buff underrepresented maps and de-incentivize saturated ones. That wouldn't solve everything, but it would reduce repetition farming on the same maps over and over again. Now, to conclude this video, you guys need to chill. Problem isn't one mapper, it isn't one specific meta, it isn't one specific group of people, it's the entire structure of the performance system. As long as we keep an eternal leaderboard tied to an efficiency-driven metric, meta maps will exist and be made. That is not drama, that's a game design choice the PP enforces on the game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.